The idea of art in public spaces it should be taken with a greater sense of responsibility. I'm Giulia Ambrogi. I'm one of the co-founders and curator of Sardinia Foundation. We were 5 people coming from different backgrounds, but really kind of united with the belief that operating in the streets and in our cities in order to bring art for everybody was one of our main dreams. So we started analyzing the cities and understanding where we could have plugged art in a way that was meaningful for the community and also that would have been meaningful for other stakeholders as well. The idea from the very beginning was essentially to bring art out of the white cubes of the galleries or of the museums, really believing that art and culture is a greater tool for the growth of society. And when we say growth, we say in an educational level, on an awareness level, but also on an economical level. With the art districts, the idea is basically to create an open-air art museum that is open for all, essentially, and where artists, professional artists, can actually express themselves, taking the city as a canvas. So cities have immense potentials in terms of also what they stand for, what is the spirit of the time, and what are we doing in the present for our future. That was one of our biggest questions. The idea is that when we go around in our cities, we have these amazing monuments, right? And in the contemporary sort of era, our monuments are becoming skyscrapers, which are actually what get the city into the area of generic city. All the cities are becoming very much similar. So how to make them not generic anymore? How to embed art in a daily space? Each of our art districts actually speaks for the location, with the location, which is why also we involve a lot communities and residents in the process through a series of different interventions. It can be workshops, it can be surveys about what is the locality all about, what they relate the locality with, and what they would love to see in the locality. We really do believe that what works for the citizens works for tourism. So this art is also very much popular amongst not just youngsters, but it's also a greater mover of tourism. The part of integrating a local context, the part of integrating art and beauty actually in our city means also to kind of trigger a sense of belonging. People really start looking at the public spaces in a different way. When everything is grey, when everything is dull, where everything seems to belong to no one, it's very hard to actually create a sort of awareness towards what a public space means. So the idea is really to speak about urgent matters through art in order to give that sense of awareness and engagement to everybody. And we try to invite artists that always speak about very urgent and important issues such as climate change, women empowerment. It connects so immediately without the necessity of language, right? So it kind of also breaks through the barriers of different education, different origins, different sort of social strata. It really speaks to everybody. It can communicate very difficult concepts in a very simple, not superficial, but simple way. I think that, for instance, here in Mumbai, we've been doing several projects since 2014. We have one art district in Mahim, and over there we started thinking of, what is the essence of this space, what is the character that is unique of what is called the poor-rich slum of Dharavi. And eventually one of the facets that we got very fascinated were the human beings, their resilience, their skill sets, their energy, their diversity is really what makes Dharavi special and unique. Therefore, we dedicated the art district to the everyday man. So we are inviting just artists that basically paint portraits in the most different way. some hyper-realistic, some abstract, like a little bit more abstract, some more illustrative, but essentially it's like just the diversity of the everyday man. So when you are always kind of unseen in this like very overwhelming west of the city, it's very simple, like, you know, for you to forget that you are actually an active citizen and you can be an active citizen. We also do a lot of community-based projects. So we have been running like projects with trans women. We've also done, in fact, like a flyover in Worli that was, you know, with 20 trans women, and the images were basically the everyday Mumbaikers, right? So from the Kolivara to the Dabavala to you, me, everybody, right? So each column was dedicated to a different person. So this is just some of the examples of what we do. The point is not to have art everywhere. I actually think that we would really need to pause a moment and understand what's good art, what's bad art. We need to have a greater responsibility, I would say, towards the visual landscape of our cities, because the visual landscape of our city informs actually the way in which we are looking at the city and at ourselves as well. What are we depositing in this city? Understanding where art can do a greater service to the population, where art can do a greater service to the urban fabric of the city, where it can really sort of contribute to the city with a greater value. So the first thing is like how we can all work together on the same platform. Indeed, the very reason of this interview, it means that there is an interest, there is absolutely a greater awareness from BMC, from many government bodies. But I think that now we have to do the step more, which is connecting with, you know, like different stakeholders, connecting with like government bodies, and making the system lighter, making the system a little bit more oiled, where all the parties are coming together for a common cause, which is like very much formalized when it comes to what public art means for the city, what urban art can contribute with. I would really invite everybody to really look at our spaces in a very engaging, engaged, and empowered manner. Us professionals are nothing without, you know, the communities and the citizens, so it would be great to have all the support possible to identify spaces and possible interventions. And the beautiful part of it, unlike of many other perhaps like grandiose work of architecture, is that if well done, they are very cost effective. And when you transform a space, you transform the interactions, because I guess that's what it counts the most in transforming spaces, is transforming our lives.